I think I better. Honk honk.
Now we're recording too.
Wow. Fancy schmancy. Mm-hmm. Project Ion Podcast, June 29th, 2019. It is hot outside. It's the Three Amigos today.
Yeah, sweltering.
We're Hispandering today. Tres amigos.
Hola.
Que pasa?
Okay, yeah.
Healthcare for all.
Healthcare for illegals.
Oh no, healthcare por todos. There it is. I've got the vote.
Yes.
Yeah, I love that Hispandering.
That's great.
Who came up with that?
I heard that on Glenn Beck's show.
Okay.
So all credit to Glenn Beck. On
that was super cringy during the debates when they just... It's like, what's going on?
I heard an interview with a bunch of like millennials. I don't remember who did the interview, but even they were pretty cringed out by the whole thing. They said, maybe once, giving a shout out to the Hispanics and their native tongue was cool, but going on and on and on, and seeing who could be the better, Spanish speaker.
I remember in an election, I can't remember which one it was, but whenever Chris Dodd was a candidate.
Chris Dodd.
Yep, of the Dodd-Frank legislation fame, I think. Yeah. I remember him answering a question in a debate setting in Spanish at some juncture. But I can't think of another time when it's happened that
not even
that much.
Well, 2016 was different, I guess, with the Republican field, but yeah,
man, 20. What is it? 20 candidates.
Yep.
Over two nights in the debate.
10 a night. Gee. They didn't even. I mean, I thought 2016 Republican field was crazy, but geez Louise, we got a heavy dose of wacko clown world on last couple nights. That's for sure.
How much time did you guys spend watching? What'd you say?
I did two things. The first night, I had it planned out. I wanted to sit down with a big bowl of ice cream and watch the debate as long as I could. And I got about an hour into it, and then I just went to bed. The second night, I was like, oh, I gotta do better. So I went to the theater and bought a large tub of popcorn.
Wow.
And I sat down. It was like a sporting event to me, pretty much. And the same thing, got about an hour in, and I was bored.
Boring.
So
saith the Donald.
Yeah, I was 50% on debate viewing.
Well, I like to listen to other people live stream or live comment the debates, so I was tuned into InfoWars.
I tried to get that up, but I don't. Were they broadcasting the debate and commenting at the same time, or
they mostly comment?
Okay,
which is a little annoying if you actually want to hear what's going on, but it was very entertaining.
No, I'm sure.
I don't mean to be rude, but liberal women are just plain ugly. Okay, Alex.
Funny.
Yeah, how about you?
I think I got about maybe 10 minutes on Wednesday and then 0 on Thursday.
I did not tune in at all on Thursday.
Yeah. No, Thursday was good. I thought Thursday was the most entertaining. Wednesday was boring. Thursday was entertaining because of the clips we're about to see here in a second. But we had Joe Biden just getting demolished and looking like Sleepy Joe.
Sleepy Joe.
Makala Ding Dong came in for the attack, and she's all for reparations and all that stuff. And then on the other side of the stage, You have Pete Butt Cheeks and isn't that what JLP calls it?
Butt cheek. He has trouble
my
pronouncing
goodness.
it, so he just settles on butt cheek.
And then my favorite candidate of all time, Marianne Williamson. You'll see her loveliness here.
What
shortly.
night was Crazy Bernie?
That was Thursday.
It was
so
Thursday?
Yeah, Thursday had kind of the no.
I think Bernie
was Wednesday.
Yeah, I thought he was Thursday because he was on the same as Biden and Harris, wasn't he?
I thought he was with Warren. Maybe not. I could be wrong. You might be
Because
right. Jeff.
as I recall,
Oh no, you're right. Yeah.
yeah, the
Yep.
Wednesday lineup, like the only one with a lot of notoriety was Elizabeth Warren,
Yeah.
I think.
Yep, you're
And it
right.
was supposedly chosen at random, wasn't it? The grouping?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how the
Yeah.
grouping
I
went.
think that's what they claim
It's
anyway.
a whole
Right.
dose of crazy.
It felt like A team and B team
Right.
kind of.
Did you guys hear the comment from what's his name? Julian. What's his
Castro?
Castro? Is that his last name?
I think so.
He made the comment where he wants. Oh, how did it go? He wants to make it a right for trans. Let's see. I have to get this right because he said it.
Careful.
Trans. If you're a trans woman, you're originally a man, right? Or you're a man.
Unclear. I don't
Okay.
know.
So he wanted to make it legal for trans women to have an abortion. He said that. Now just think about it. Trans women having an abortion. Well, you have to have a uterus first in order for that to happen. And then he went back on Twitter the next day. He's like, I misspoke. I wanted to say trans men or whatever.
Yeah.
We are totally pandering for the 0.005% of the population.
Yeah, I remember when the Democrats used to be the party of like the working man and the common man. And
Oh, yeah. I
it's-
mean,
that's kind of when I was, I guess, all in with them to some extent. But it's just gotten so far out there now that I don't think they.
I mean, you remember Grandpa Don. He was a
course.
hardcore
Yeah.
Democrat. I wonder what he would think of the party
Right.
today. I mean, it's fascinating how it changes. And
It
it's
is.
even changed within the last 10 years.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Just ever since probably Bill Clinton might have been the last actual Democratic president. It's just interesting.
It almost feels like, at least at this stage, to me, it almost comes off as an auction for, I'll see you free health care and I'll raise you, universal basic income. And then,
good way to put it.
I'll see you.
I'll see you $1,000 a month.
I'll see
Yeah.
UBE, free
UBE.
health care and trans abortions. So like, it's like,
Yeah,
who can pile on
that is-
the largest amount of entitlements and then
the
you know,
Yang guy.
pander the most as possible.
The Yang guy wants to give everybody $1,000 a month, no questions asked. Just here's a check.
Do you know why?
He says it will. People will spend more and stimulate the economy, or put that money back into the economy.
I heard him explain it slightly differently, which is he's afraid of what I kind of railed against last time I was on the show, which is like automation, basically putting
yeah.
lots of people out of jobs. And
Yeah.
so when that happens, he was like, all right, well, we need to do something for these people that are just not going to be able to work.
Yep.
You might as well give them $1,000 or whatever. Which it's interesting, but I don't see that happening anytime soon. So
Well, it's funny that you say that, because in our little hometown, I think it's probably going to start more in the bigger cities, but Casey's General Stores have flirted with the idea of using automation or I don't know if you'd even call it AI as their cashiers or to do transactions in the store. So
funny you mentioned that.
Oh, Teets is going to be out
yeah,
of the
well,
job.
that's just it. They can't find people to work.
Right.
It's not that. It's not that.
Teets.
It's not that people are doing a crappy job or anything. It's
Pizza.
just they just don't have applicants, which I understand. I mean, who's going to slave away for $9 an hour or whatever starting is? That's why we need $15 universal income or universal.
They actually already are doing that at the McDonald's in Spirit Lake.
What really?
It's all kiosk based.
Huh.
You can still order at the counter, but I get the impression that it's pretty discouraged. And so you just walk up to a touch screen, and they got all options. Do you want to hold the mayo, hold the tomato, extra
Really?
ketchup? Yeah, we've done it a couple times, but
How does it
it's
work
already
for
happening.
accuracy and stuff?
You got to think that it's So that's one way in which AI, not that it is, but that it would actually help this or be like a good
AI master race.
Yeah, be like a good thing because it would eliminate the communication factor or variable.
Yeah, how many times you be like, I want to play cheeseburger?
And they give you a bun.
Yeah, right.
That's it.
I've got photographic evidence of that. Emmitsburg McDonald's is closed, by the way.
Is it really?
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Permanently?
Yep.
Okay.
I think the whole gas station went kaput that it was attached to as well. So, yes, indeed. But, well, should we get into some material here? Alrighty. Let's start with so the title of this video is Democratic Debate. Kamala Harris blasts Joe Biden over busing stands.
Kamala.
Also, that in this campaign, we've also heard, and I'm going to now direct this at Vice President Biden. I do not believe you are a racist.
Oh,
and
thank God.
I agree with you.
If there's any question.
There's Bernie.
Yep.
You commit yourself to the importance of finding common ground. But I also believe, and it's...
Yeah, the more riled up he gets, his thing just...
personal, and I was actually it was hurtful.
Oh, how hurt
to hear
were
you talk about the reputations of two United States senators who built their reputations and career on the segregation of race in this country.
Oh,
and it was not only that, but you also worked with them to oppose busing. And, you know, there was a little girl in California who was part of the second class to integrate her public schools. And she was bused to school every day. And that little girl was me. So I will tell you that on this subject, it cannot be an intellectual debate among Democrats. We have to take it seriously. We have to act swiftly. As Attorney General of California, I was very proud to put in place a requirement that all my special agents would wear body cameras and keep those cameras on.
What exactly was she talking about when she said we shouldn't have an intellectual? Did you guys catch that? Shouldn't have an intellectual discussion or something?
To me, the entire Democratic platform is an intellectual discussion, again, like you said, pertaining only to like a tiny fraction of a percentage of all America. Mm-hmm. But anyway.
And I know this is kind of off subject. I don't wonder if they'll show it here or not, but Biden was, when he was giving his response and his rebuttal to some of these claims, like when his time would run out, he'd just stop and say, "Oh, I'm out of time." Where all these other people are just bantering on and on and on, and it was really weird. It was, I don't know, it was kind of uncomfortable because he'd be, "Oh, I'm out of time," and they just stop mid spiel or whatever, and it was weird.
Do you think that's a bad move to respect the rules of the debate when nobody else is?
Yeah, I don't know. I'm hoping that's what it was and not just maybe him having dementia or Alzheimer's or whatever. But I don't know. It was interesting, and if it was out of respect for the rules, it was refreshing because, man, it was catty for a while.
Have you guys heard that Joe Biden said like 3 brain surgeries?
No, I hadn't heard that.
I'm waiting for like Trump to jump all over that because it seems like a cheap low blow he could make about Joe Biden.
Yeah. Ageism.
Yeah.
All sorts of brain surgeries.
Senator Harris, thank you. Vice President Biden, you have been invoked. We are going to give you a chance to respond.
Poor
Listen
Joe.
to all that applause. Do you guys know much about Kamala Harris's background? Because I don't think it's accurate that she was... I thought she was like the child of a couple of college professors or something.
And what's she mean when she says busing? Like, I don't think a lot of people know.
I was confused
what that is.
Well, the way she laid it out there was like as if, you know, evil Joe Biden was working with the racist to keep the black kids from being able to be bussed around. To
put me on the back of the bus.
Right.
I'm sure that's exactly what he was doing.
Poor
Vice
Joe.
President Biden.
Mischaracterization of my position across the board. I did not praise racist. That is not true. number one. Number two, if we want to have this campaign litigated on who supports civil rights and whether I did or not, I'm happy to do that. I was a public defender. I didn't become a prosecutor. I came out and I left a good law firm to become a public defender when in fact my city was in flames because of the assassination of Dr. King. Number one. Now, number two, as the Vice President of the United States, I work with a man who, in fact, we worked very hard to see to it we dealt with these issues in a major, major way. The fact is that in terms of busing, the busing, you would have been able to go to school the same exact way because it was a local decision made by your city council. That's fine. That's one of the things I argued for, that we should be breaking down these lines. But so the bottom line here is, look, everything I've done in my career, I ran because of civil rights. I continue to think we have to make fundamental changes in civil rights. And those civil rights, by the way, include not just only African Americans, but the LGBT community.
But Vice President Biden, do you agree?
Is that what you're talking about?
Nah.
He just cuts off?
Well, yeah, he'll do that, and then a few other times he'll just make it. He literally says, "Oh, I'm out of time." So, but yeah, he doesn't he's almost ultra polite, it seems like.
Do you agree today that you were wrong to oppose busing in America then?
No.
Do you agree?
I did not oppose busing in America.
I voted against Greyhound.
Busing.
And what's another bus company?
Oh, man.
Yeah.
They're the big
Those
dogs.
yellow ones that the schools have. Said no every time.
What I opposed is busing ordered by the Department of Education. That's what I opposed.
Well, there was a failure of states to integrate public schools in America. I was part of the second class to integrate Berkeley, California public schools almost 2 decades after Brown v. Board of Education.
Because your city council made that decision. It was a local decision.
So that's where the federal government must step in.
The
That's why we have the
federal
Voting
government
Rights Act and the Civil Rights Act. That's why we need to pass the Equality Act. That's why we need to pass the ERA, because there are moments in history where states fail to preserve the civil rights of all people.
I have supported the ERA from the very beginning when I ran for the
Vice President Biden, 30 seconds, because I want to bring other people into this.
I supported the ERA from the very beginning. I'm the guy that extended the Voting Rights Act for 25 years. We got to the place where we got 98 out of 98 votes in the United States Senate doing it. I've also argued very strongly that we, in fact, deal with the notion of denying people access to the ballot box. I agree that everybody, once they, in fact, they should. Anyway, my time's up.
Yeah, there it was.
I would say respectful Joe.
Yeah.
Oh, respectful Joe.
I don't know. I'm not sure if that's good strategy.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean,
because Trump has changed the whole way that these things work.
Right.
It's how loud can you be, and how much can you get the last punch in all the time. And
but now that I watched that again, it really wasn't as. When I watched it live, it seemed like, oh crap, she owned the libs or whatever, and but now if you actually listen to what they're saying, and Biden, I think Biden tries to talk up here where probably needs to put it down here because he mentioned city council, and that's not the rules. Like the federal government had no say in that matter during that time. But
there's nuance to the position that was omitted on purpose by Kamala Harris, and it was to offer it as if it was Sleepy Joe working with the Klan to keep the black kids out of the schools and stuff. But
Grand Wizard Joe,
right? The reality is it probably couldn't be further from the truth.
Yeah,
but
I think that kind of stuff happens constantly. Anytime you accuse somebody of saying something racist or something that, I got you there. No, there actually is a reason why they said what they said, and it just requires 5 minutes of looking into the situation to realize that it wasn't that outrageous.
What do you think the reason for that is anymore? That nuance just seems to be
because people are too lazy to look up anything, and it'll get you a quick win if you're able to call somebody racist. And what they said looked like it was racist, but there really is a reason for it.
Can you get your point across in 125 characters?
That's a big problem.
No one reads anymore. That's another thing. No one reads literature. It's always scrolling.
Yep.
funny. Well,
Cool.
should we move on to another one?
Is it just me, or does anybody else have a problem with calling these things debates? Like, if there's 10 people on the stage and you have, 2 hours?
Yeah.
How much of a debate can you really have?
Yeah.
When I think of a debate, I think of like one-on-one, just going back and forth, point, counterpoint. This is just asking questions and responding to them. What we just saw here was a little bit of a debate, and I would guess that's probably the most debating that happened that night. But it's just a Q&A session, if you ask me.
Yeah, it's true.
Tulsi Gabbard was on Bill Maher's show Friday night.
My favorite liberal.
Yeah.
I like
and
Bill Maher.
she mentioned the same thing. She's like, we have, I think she had 6 minutes of actual speaking time where they're talking about nuclear war, climate change, Putin, all these major issues, and each candidate has like 6 minutes to get their point across. So, it's just interesting. And speaking of Tulsi, seems like she's kind of pulled away a little bit. A lot of people like her performance, so it'll be interesting to see where she's at. Tulsi and who is the other? Well, Kamalama Ding Dong.
What's the latest polling information? I'd be curious.
I was going to say, what were you guys' kind of just intuitions on who's going to pull off with
I still think Biden probably.
I would agree.
Even though it wasn't a very strong performance, but
I wonder. I think Biden to me feels like the DNC favorite sort of, and then I suppose Bernie or somebody in the Bernie ilk will kind of be number 2. And
I think the burn is fading.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I would love to see Bernie get the nomination.
Well, he'd lose.
Very entertaining.
Yeah.
To me, it's all about entertainment, of course.
Yeah.
Well, now it is. Yeah.
But I think Biden's definitely the media's favorite for sure. He's got all kinds of crap on his past. That the media doesn't even really talk about.
Elizabeth Warren had a strong performance, but she was going up against like the JV squad.
Right.
So.
She's so angry.
Yeah,
She's
I don't like her.
angry.
She's a nasty woman.
She's a nasty woman. A dirty, nasty Democrat child of the lie.
So
the wicked witch of the West.
What happened?
The low IQ. What's going on here?
I don't know. Help.
It's Russia.
Yes.
The Russians are after us.
Soros has sicked his goons on us.
So I'm not sure if Real Clear Politics is a trustworthy source or not, but in the main Democratic primary, Biden at 25, Warren at 17, Sanders 15,
Butt cheeks
at 8, Yang 5,
Yang, wow. Yang above
O'Rourke at 1,
Jill Beta.
Oh man, you know who I can't stand is Booker. Oh, he's exhausting. He grew up with white parents in a suburb, and thinks he had such a tough upbringing.
What should we look at next, fellers?
I don't know. Does that put a cap on the debate till the next round? I guess.
Oh,
maybe.
look at doing debate. Yeah, let's go to Marianne Williamson.
Okay.
Okay. Little background about her. She is a self-help guru. How she got on the debate stage is anyone's best guess. Crystal healing, essential oils. I think she's anti-vax.
Sweet.
But anyway, yeah, let's see. Her final response was hilarious. I think they say it here.
So she's into crystals,
Yeah.
anti-vaxxing?
And essential oils.
Okay. Well, I can get behind all of that.
Yeah, she is a hippie.
Marianne Williamson was hitting me with so much crazy. I loved every second of it on every level. I have to. I was laughing so much last night. We have to show the
My first
montage.
call is to Prime Minister of New Zealand, who said that her goal is to make New Zealand the place where...
The question was, if you're elected president, what is the first thing that you would do when you get to the Oval Office? And Marianne Williamson's response was, I'm going to call the president of New Zealand, and then
it's the best place in the world for a child to grow up. And I will tell her girlfriend you were so on, because the United States of America is going to be the best place in the world for a child to grow up. So, Mr. President, if you're listening, I want you to hear me, please. You have harnessed fear for political purposes, and only love can cast that out.
Is this an accent or like a speech impediment?
That's just it. Like, oh no, girlfriend, no, you won't. Well, what's the first thing you're gonna do? I'm gonna call New Zealand.
I've never heard of this lady.
Me either.
She's crazy.
So you said, how in the world could she get on the stage?
Right.
There are two metrics, I guess: polling and grassroots fundraising. It says a candidate could qualify by hitting 1% in 3 separate polls released between January and June 12. And number 2, grassroots fundraising. Separately, a candidate could also qualify by raising money from at least 65,000 unique donors. Also, to ensure at least some geographic spread of support, they'd have to have at least 200 donors in each of the 20 states.
Man. Girlfriend, you are so wrong.
So sir, I have a feeling you know what you're doing. I'm going to harness love.
I found so much entertainment in it. Maybe you guys are classier than I am, but I had people over watching, and I was like, I don't know if she's like a murder mystery actress or what's happening, but I loved it. I can't.
I was embarrassed for her. Why is she even there? I was embarrassed. I was actually watching it with my husband and my son. My daughter's away at sleepaway camp, and my son's...
The View?
Bunch
What is
of
this show?
yentas.
Yeah, I know.
What's this show?
The View. It's kind of like...
It's a bunch of Jewish mothers complaining about things.
Yeah. I don't know how to explain it. It's a... Do you know who the 5 are on Fox News? Like Greg.
Have you really ever heard of View?
Oh man, it's hard to explain.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Watch it once. Watch it in 10 minutes.
When is it on?
It's like daytime.
Yeah.
Oh. Okay.
It's a morning.
When all the teachers are off of work over the summer. Have time to.
Applications for running for president, and I said, well, listen, you have to be a certain age, but other than that, you can run for president. And I said, but just because you can doesn't mean that you should.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Are you not on? Oh. Yeah, crap. I forgot to.
Yeah, you can stop this.
Okay.
So I think that's it for the
Let me
clips.
Switch to camera mode. Can you see yourself now?
There I is.
Okay.
Well, that's
Kevin's
weird.
doing a disappearing act.
Apparently so. Cat was like, "You're in and you're out."
Hey, catters.
I think the reason why is because on the other frame here, it's the old camera.
Okay.
So I have a funny idea if you'll let me do it.
Please.
Let's see.
Cat says The View is Barbara Walters' talk show.
Okay.
That was a tough question, Jay. What is The View? It's really hard to explain.
Indeed. Hi, Kylie.
Hello.
Hey. Let's just.
We need Lily on the podcast.
Yeah.
A Lily cast.
Baby Babble
There
time.
we go.
I could bring Hudson.
Now we'll get you over there,
I
Kevin.
think that picture was taken in Pennsylvania.
Soul Patch Kevy.
You know who can rock the soul patch is Neighbor Dave.
Oh yeah.
He's got a pencil
Neighborman's
thin
got
one.
a soul patch?
Pencil thin, yeah.
That's hilarious.
He kind of reminds me of like his look. He could pull off the like early 2000s metal, or not metal, but like rock and roll,
Like
with
new
the
metal?
new metal
Yeah.
type of look. Yeah, he's kind of got that.
He reminds me of
going
like Danzig or some of the guys from
Jeez.
the
It's funny you
Misfits.
mentioned that. I just started listening to them like yesterday.
Misfits
And
or
Rancid.
Oh yeah.
Misfits. I've been on this pop punk kick for the last month or
Oh
so.
yeah. Pop punk rocks.
Remember when you had a Danzig album and we were painting the garage?
Yes.
We played it over and over and over again.
It was hotter than the fires of hell itself
Yeah.
outside, and we were painting the garage,
I think that
listening to Danzig.
album was called like I Lucifer.
Yeah.
Or something.
Some good tracks on that.
It was good. I mean, yeah, there was some good stuff.
Oh, Danzig.
Good music, man. Pop punk is it's not dead.
No.
Rancid. Misfits suck.
Yeah, they're terrible.
What's your problem with the Misfits?
They're awful.
If you like Ghost, I
The
think you'd like the
Ramones.
Yeah, they're
Misfits
Blink's going on tour again
Are they?
very soon.
with Lil Wayne.
No. Yeah,
What?
with Lil Wayne.
Oh no.
Have you don't know about that?
Uh-uh.
Oh man, maybe we should
Look-
risk the copyright.
Yeah, there's a
We can probably get around it by showing short
Right.
sections of it.
Okay.
there's a mashup of Lil Wayne and one of the famous Blink songs. I forget which one.
It's like, what's my age again?
Yeah.
It's so like Okay.
One commenter described it as drinking orange juice after you brush your teeth.
Oh. Blink-182.
Oh, this is horrible.
A milli.
Hopefully we don't have an ad here. Yeah, we'll have it.
I think we're good.
Okay.
I already don't
I'm
like
gonna
it.
skip around.
Yeah. Please be kind to us, algorithms.
Yep.
A millionaire, I'm a young money millionaire.
Oh, God.
So you recognize the song? I'm pretty sure it's What's My Age Again?
Yeah.
Right?
What's my age again?
So somehow Blink-182 has gotten the brilliant idea to add Lil Wayne
Why?
to the mixture.
Why? Well, next thing they'll have him play. Have you seen him play guitar?
Oh yeah.
Oh my God.
Lil Wayne?
Yeah. When he
Oh.
tries to play guitar,
He gets.
it's cringy.
You know who I really like though is this drummer. He's insanely good.
Blank's drummer.
Travis Barker. Yeah.
Mhm.
Oh,
Yeah.
so good.
It's a good
So
song.
yeah, the chorus is normal, and then they've got Lil
Like
Wayne.
in the second line, he says gonorrhea and STDs.
Jeez.
That's his brilliant lyrics.
Sicilian bitch with long hair with coconut derriere.
Pull up some of the comments.
Oh man.
What show was okay? Who's here after watching Stevie T?
Never mind. Top one worst collab. Tom DeLonge. I quit the band to search for aliens. We're gonna collab with Lil Wayne. Dude, you're out of your mind.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, Tom DeLonge was big into aliens.
Yeah.
That's
he
why he
still is.
started Angels and Airwaves.
Yep. Meanwhile, they're still doing good stuff.
Yeah, I like them. They're pretty good.
Can't believe they stood there. Oh man, good grief. Stevie T brought us here.
Who's Stevie T?
Stevie T's a guitar
Oh,
YouTuber.
yeah.
He's
That's too bad.
kind of funny.
That's disappointing. I feel bad.
Well, I feel like it
we all
doesn't
do.
make the music it's not making the song any better by.
Well, yeah, it doesn't make rock better. It makes rap worse. It's kind of like the classic Hank Hill line.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking. But I kind of forgot how
You're
Hank
not making Christianity any better. You're making rock and roll worse.
Yeah.
Are you guys familiar with mumble rap?
Oh, man, yeah.
Silent at the bottom, now at the top.
Start from Bob No Hill. Start
That's
from
it.
Bob No whole team here. Lil Pump.
Lil Pump.
Yeah, all the kids like that stuff.
Is that a sign of the times, like just low energy, apathy, don't
Vaping
care,
all the time.
Listlessness.
listlessness?
I
Yeah.
think so. I mean,
The listless Gen Zer.
well, when you think about different times in society, you usually kind of can tie music into those times. And you think about like the 50s, you had your swing and your greasers and all that sort of stuff. In the 60s, you had your hippies and that sort of thing. And the music goes along with it. But what do you think about when you think of 2019 or 20?
Laziness.
Yeah,
Like
laziness
nothing.
and
no talent.
people with 6'9" tattooed on your
Yeah.
forehead. It's freaking crazy.
Is that guy still around or?
I thought he died. I don't know. What's his name? Tentacion? No, that
Guy
died.
died.
I don't
XXX Tentacion.
Yeah, I don't get
But
it.
69 had the rainbow hair, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I thought he got arrested or something, and
Oh, who knows?
probably in the clink. I
It's
don't know.
weird because like you could say the same thing about like Nirvana as far as apathy and hating the man
Yeah,
and
that's
not
true.
caring, but at least there was some talent there.
Yeah.
They played instruments.
Yeah.
These guys just mumble.
Yep.
Yeah, how hard is it to find like a beat and just
And then flash your toy guns and your
Yeah.
Benjamins on camera.
Well, if Kyle and I can make a rap album with in our free time,
it took about a week.
and yeah, like whatever,
Yes.
I don't know.
And it actually sounded halfway decent. Imagine what you could do full time with
Good
a
production.
full studio.
Yeah. No kidding.
Oh, good heavens.
We're just the lonely moans.
That's right. Well, should we transgender it up here?
We could transition.
Transition over here. So, what's the setup here? 9-year-old Austin drag queen
Spreading the message of love. And I guess the question on this is this child abuse? Which
yes,
I suppose we all know the answer to it.
Oops, sorry.
Houston's Pride Week celebrations are in full swing right now, celebrating the LGBTQ community. And now one 9-year-old is living near Austin, performing as a drag queen to promote inclusiveness. Keegan performs in drag as Queen Kiki. A third-grade teacher asked her class what they wanted to be when they grow up. Keegan wrote in his memory book, "Gender Creative." Keegan says that he can be himself when he's wearing a dress. He also has a message for anyone struggling with their identity.
Is there a comment floating around over there?
No, man. I don't know.
I guess this was a teacher who kind of encouraged this behavior, or
was it?
I think that's what
I blame the parents.
interviewer said.
Where's the dad?
Yeah.
Oh God, how could you even? You haven't even hit puberty. Haven't even been close to puberty. How can you even? How do you know what a gender is, besides boy and girl?
Word.
It's sad. I mean, is this pertaining to the TV show that's on now? Do you guys know about that? There's a TV show on TLC. If you remember, like Tiny Tot, what were they like? Dance competition people, parents.
Tiaras or something?
Tiaras and something.
Yeah.
Or whatever.
Toddlers and tiaras.
Yeah, that one.
My favorite show.
Now there's one for drag kids.
Well, it's about time.
Yeah, right. And it's, oh my God, it's child abuse.
What happened to Honey Boo Boo? Remember that?
Sketti.
Yeah.
Isn't the father a pedo?
I don't know.
Daddy
What
Barrel.
you making over there, Mama June?
I'm making some Sketti.
Ketchup and butter.
You just like see her dumping a whole thing of like, I can't believe it's butter or whatever stuff in, and dumping ketchup in all these. I'm making Sketti.
God, we should find some good Honey Boo Boo clips.
Yeah, all right.
God.
Well, we'll get. Do you want to take a quick sidebar and Honey Boo Boo it?
Go down the rabbit hole.
Yeah,
Boo
might
Boo.
as well.
That's sad though.
Let's find
9-year-old
some Sketti.
drag queen.
How do you spell Sketti? Like this?
Yeah, I guess.
Cooking with June.
I'm going to cook what we call a multi-meal. It's kind of like shepherd pie, but with my little kick. And it's
Count
just
the
corn,
chins.
ground beef, butter, milk, mashed potatoes. You can do homemade, but you can buy them out of a bag. And just some shredded cheese to go on
taking
top
notes?
and layer.
Oh yeah.
I'm sure we can figure it
Write all
out.
this down.
Hey, what's it? Look at all that butter
Oh,
It's
man.
a tub, a literal tub of butter.
and cheese and corn. Probably the least healthy vegetable, right?
Yeah.
It's
Just
just a lot
empty
of
calories.
sugar. Yeah.
And look
Start
at
off
the
with
ad on the
hamburger.
side.
Keto beginner.
It'll add on a Sketti recipe.
Want some Sketti?
It's like frying it up like in the pan. Put like your seasoning salt. Wrong way. This is my frying
Can you pause
pan.
it? This is how stupid AI is these days. We have
Oh,
a
yeah.
keto recipe on the side of a Sketti video, by the way. Thanks, YouTube. Thanks for your genius algorithms.
Yeah.
They'll have driving cars before you know it.
And before you know it, yeah, we're just around the corner.
They do have driving cars. Tesla Model 10 or Model X.
Oh man.
Keep going.
My boiling pan, my whatever pan at the time I'm cooking. It's kind of like 1 spoon, 1 pan cooks all, like hamburger helper with mine, 1 pan, 1 spoon.
No big deal.
Drain the hamburger meat.
Why?
Just kind of like eyeballing
For health
the milk and the
reasons.
butter.
Oh, my
little
God.
bit. Little bit.
Whoa. That's at least a couple thousand calories
Oh,
of
God,
butter.
yeah.
At least
Almost
it's not
as-
margarine.
Yeah, almost as much as a large buttered popcorn.
Potatoes or the staple in this one.
Potatoes.
Because it kind of like binds everything together. It's kind of like glue.
It's kind of like gluten.
Now you take this.
Holds it all together.
Pan, and you start laying it however you want to. It's kind of like lasagna. So we'll start off with the meat, but me, I kind of like to start off with the potatoes because that's just me.
Anybody else getting hungry?
Oh yeah.
Looks good, eh?
This is like Epic Mealtime spinoff.
Oh,
Poor
yeah.
man's
Gotta be
Epic Mealtime.
Right.
Perfect. I tell people this all the time. Like a layer of the corn, take some of the hamburger meat and kind of spread it out. And then the cheese. My kids love some cheese, so
I know,
you do
yeah.
make it extra cheesier for them.
That's why their
And
BMI
you
is
just don't let those
45.
on you. You just start laying it up again. And this is where you gotta put your hands in it to mash it kind of in.
yeah.
Take the other can of corn and
Or corn.
layer.
See, it's healthy. It's got corn in it.
Yep. Vegetables.
And potatoes, that
Yeah.
constitutes a vegetable, right?
Starch.
it up. After you layer it all up, to melt the
What is
cheese.
this? Sorry.
She's speaking English the entire time, yet we've had subtitles for the entirety of the video here.
Kind of let the corn cook a minute. You put it in the oven, turn it on bake. You turn it on 450 and just kind of like leave it alone. All right, well this should be done. This multi-meal of the day. Oh yeah, looks good.
Get to the
Good
Sketti
plate.
already.
I forgot
This isn't
to wash
Sketti,
my
is
favorite
this?
Can't be
spoon.
Sketti.
This is like trailer park
That is
lasagna.
it. Oh no, I don't want to break it, so let me. I'm sorry. Put it on the kids' plate.
Oh my god.
Yes, man.
Have to say compliments to each other. It was very, very good.
So, it's potatoes, corn, and beef.
And
butter.
cheese.
And butter,
And
yeah.
butter.
Okay. Okay.
Wonder what how the metrics would shake out. Like you get a serving, because it's got to be way more carbs and fat and oil than
Oh,
there
yeah.
is like
Yeah.
protein content.
This gives me a stomach ache looking. Mama June.
Oh, this is okay. So this is probably Sketti.
Okay, yeah, this better be Sketti.
Glorifying it.
How old is this show? I remember maybe 10 years ago or something.
Yeah, probably.
5 to 10.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because I remember when this came out, it just felt like,
What the hell?
yeah, this is the end of the civilization.
What?
What you doing?
Cooking? I try to cook at least every day of the week. You're gonna step so you can help me. The deer aren't migrating like they used to be, and so nobody's hit a deer with their car, and we've not been called out to a deer call.
In other words, they're not able to cook the roadkill.
Oh, Jesus.
That's what you just said.
Oh, man. It's been a while since I done had roadkill in my belly.
Been a while since I had me a good coon.
There were 3 dead coons on the side of the road coming over here.
Oh,
So
really?
the whole
Jeez.
family got hit,
Yikes.
smacked. Anyway.
Sounds racist.
Roadkill in my
dear.
belly. What is this?
It's for the skitty.
This is Sketti.
Sketti.
Yeah. So we try to make other kinds of food skitty. How many people going to
So here's a question. Is it supposed to be spaghetti, but they just can't say it in their Appalachia language or whatever? Or is a Sketti its own thin?
Its own thin.
You're disrespecting spaghetti if you try to call that. Ugh.
It's like cheese shreds. If you go to the store and you buy cheese with like a Z-E, it's not really cheese. It's
Oh, yeah.
imitation. You can't call it cheese. So you
Yeah.
gotta get close.
Cheese whiz.
Cheese whiz. Yeah.
Well, I think you guys should demand that your wives make some gluten-free Sketti for you.
Yeah. I'm sure.
Better?
I want butter, Sketti, and ketchup.
I think the family favorite meal is skitty. I will go.
Did you guys see? Look at how much neck fat she has. I gotta back this up.
Is that a
It looks
waddle?
like a goiter or something. Look at this, right there.
Me? I want butter, Sketti, and ketchup.
I think the family favorite meal is skitty. I will go get the butter. I swim in this butter and ketchup mix.
It's butter, it's butter, it's butter.
All right, where's ketchup?
I don't know.
The kids like the ketchup and butter, and I was raised on the ketchup and butter mix. It's an old family recipe. Don't tell nobody.
Oh my
You put a
god.
little bit of butter with the ketchup.
So gross.
I've never actually watched her make this.
Melt it in the microwave. It's pretty good.
Can you put plastic shit in the microwave like that?
It's gonna leach into the
Oh
mixture.
man. That's it's probably the least of their worries.
Yeah, indeed.
Oh my God.
Oh, that's so good.
Oh God.
Well, now I'm curious. I gotta say.
Everybody's got their own, type things to feed their own family. I'll feed them on about $80 a week. And that's just buying cheaply. Alana, how you tell if Sketti's done?
When you throw it up on the roll and it sticks.
You gotta be kidding me.
Hashtag science.
Oh.
This could be an experiment for the chemistry class.
Yeah. Well, I don't know really what science is going on there.
That's how you know when Sketti's done.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. Life lessons, I guess. 21st century.
You could use it in foods class.
Foods.
Can I do it?
Here. Throw it.
Oh, Sketty, Mama's sticking. Mama, they're stickies.
Yeah. All right, get down.
Good.
Put your sugar bear. The Sketti's done.
Yeah, sugar bear.
Shaggy!
Sugar bear!
Shaggy!
Jeez Louise.
How'd you like to go live with them for a week?
Oh my God.
Could you handle it? I don't think I could.
I don't know.
I want to know how much money they got for doing this show.
Yeah.
Like, what are they doing now?
Yeah, they're probably,
Actually, I think Mama June went on a big diet and she lost a ton of weight.
Really?
Good for
Yeah.
her.
Yep, I think she did.
Must have cut back on the Sketti.
Yeah. Well, speaking of chemistry experiments, we do like a calorie lab where we can measure the caloric content of I don't know, we do like potato chips and almonds and things like that, and it's really pretty interesting because all you need to do is all a calorie is the amount of energy it takes to raise or lower temperature. So we get some water and we put a thermometer in water and set it all up and stuff, and then we light the object on fire, whether it's a nut or a Dorito or whatever. And the longer it burns, obviously, the higher the temperature is going to be in the solution. And it's really, I think it really puts into perspective for kids, like, holy crap, this almond is burning for like 15 minutes. How is my body going to be able to burn that calorie off, compared to something more low calorie like a salt-free cracker or something that burns in 20 seconds. I just can't imagine. We've never done like liquid butter. I don't know how I would go along
once a year with liquid butter.
But geez Louise, did you see the serving portions of that butter? It's like 3 ice cream scoops and some Sketti.
It's a lot of butter.
Crazy.
I want extra butter. But jigging of popcorn, extra butter.
If people would tell me extra butter, I would go all out. Just douse that sucker.
Yep.
And
that was
just take the container and just.
That stuff was disgusting.
Oh,
Remember,
it's hardly butter. Speaking of calling things that aren't, that shouldn't even be allowed.
Oil.
Butter topping.
Euphemisms. Yeah,
put that in your car and you.
When it was cold in the storeroom, you could like. Pretty much, take rust off a bumper with it, and you had to.
Man. You remember hauling those buckets out from the back?
Under
the popper?
Prying them open.
With the big screwdriver.
Yeah.
It would be all oily, so sometimes it would slip, and then I'd cut my hand on the freaking lip of the.
You get the lid off, and you'd scrape all the way back down in there. Oh my god.
Good stuff.
Why did I get a large popcorn the other night?
Well, I needed something to get you through the debate.
That's true. That's true.
Something to take the edge off.
Yeah.
Identity.
I want the world to know that you can be special and you can be who you want to be. You can be a vegetarian. You can even be a veterinarian. You can be LGBTQ. You can be a drag queen.
Now,
not when you're 9, though, dude.
Probably
you
not.
can be a vegetarian, or you can be veterinarians. You can be doctors when you're, grown up. But, that's too bad.
Are you guys familiar with the full LGBTQ acronym?
No.
Let's do a little research here.
I sort of feel like that line from that kid was maybe
constructed.
It felt sort of illustrative because if you listen to what he said, you can be special, you can be a vegetarian, you can be a doctor, you can be and then he goes into the LGBT, you know, so I think in his 9-year-old mind, he views it as like choosing your path in life or something. But that sort of flies against some of the rhetoric where this is like, you know,
this isn't a
you're
choice.
born with it. It's
right.
a thing, you know, and there's no choice or agency involved.
Wait, you're telling me there's some misunderstanding on the far left?
I want to start correcting people every time they say LGBT and say, no, it's LGBTQQIAAP, standing for lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, transsexual, queer, questioning, intersex, asexual, ally, and pansexual.
Oh, boy.
Ally?
Yeah, so like us. Or
so
cis.
we're part of the
Cis,
LGBT
apparently.
alphabet soup community?
Oh, sweet.
If
I
we're
need
friendly to them.
reparations.
Yeah.
Wow.
So,
I'm kind of floored right now.
Who was the candidate that wanted to give reparations to gay folks? Was that Warren?
Yeah,
or insinuated as much?
I think so. Yeah, I know. Yeah.
Because basically they couldn't get, the argument is they couldn't get married for so long. They didn't have all the tax benefits of that situation. So now that they are married, they should go back in time and pay them all the taxes or tax cuts.
Yeah, well, you can get married now, so it doesn't matter. Just like slavery was 200, 300 years ago, so now it doesn't matter. So no, I'm not giving you any of my money.
You do know they paid the Jews reparations.
During the Holocaust, yeah.
And didn't they pay the Japanese reparations?
For the internment camps or
Right.
something? Or
I don't know if they did or not.
So why do you like Jews and Japanese
Because
people?
they were directly...
Not blacks.
Oh, my God.
yeah, why, Kyle?
Okay, CNN, Kevy. Because during the German reparations, those reparations were paid directly to the people who, lost their home and stuff, not 6 generations later to people who are out. Nah, I better not go.
There's a new term I heard being thrown
Out of
around. It's
time.
called ADOS, American Descendants of Slavery. So
Yeah.
if you guys ever hear that, that's what it is.
ADOS.
ADOS.
What was the letters again? LGB, and there's 2 T's now.
LGBTQQIAAP.
2 Q's. IAP. Okay.
Questioning and queering.
And
Okay.
transgender and transsexual.
What's the difference between those? Transgender, transsexual?
And
one changing sex,
Oh, wait.
one changing gender.
Yeah, that's because gender and sex aren't the same
Right,
thing anymore.
right.
Now I'm getting woke.
Is there a glossary included with some of this stuff?
There needs to be.
Because what
Dictionary.net.
what does queer mean in this context? Because I always thought a queer was a gay guy.
Yeah.
Well, there's also K, which is kink.
Jesus.
Okay, so just like fetish stuff that you're into.
Maybe like furries and stuff.
Oh,
yeah, you saw it furry, didn't you?
I did.
Story
yeah, I'm
time.
glad we got to that. So I ran
Took
into
us a while, but
ran into my
we got
first
there.
furry a week or so ago. I was down in Des Moines for the Iowa Bar annual meeting, and there was a kid with a tail, like a big bushy fox tail thing, hanging around in the mall, and he had a Pokeball in his hand, and he had ears.
Oh,
like
man.
fox ears.
Pokeball.
I should have just taken a picture.
Yeah,
I debated
just
just
walking
blatantly
up to
walking and taking a picture, and walking off.
What's he gonna do?
Well, you got no
Throw his
reasonable
Pokeball at
expectation
you.
of privacy
Yeah.
in a public place,
Sometime I want to go just hang out in a furry Discord channel or one of those things just to see what they talk about.
Yeah.
Are they really serious about this stuff? Or trans species and that kind of
Yeah.
thing?
I watched a video or two about furries to try to educate myself a little bit
Of course.
after I saw this furry. And apparently there was a CSI or something episode that made furries out to be it was all a sex-related thing. Furries that all get together and just have furry orgies and stuff. And it was a weird fetish thing. And that's apparently not what it's about. There's furry communities that
thank
they
goodness.
get together and go bowling. And
Furry safe spaces.
whatever. So
How do they bowl? They don't.
I don't know.
Furries don't have hands, do they?
I mean, to me, it's like on par with people that dress up for the Renaissance Fair.
Right.
I mean, like,
I'm sure they'd tell you it's a lifestyle, though.
yeah, maybe. I don't know. I mean,
well, didn't it all originate from a cartoon for little girls?
My Little Pony.
Oh.
I don't know. Are furries and bronies?
Oh, bronies.
the
Never
same
mind.
thing?
I'm getting them mixed up. Sorry.
God, would you get your marginalized community
I know.
straight there,
Jeez.
Kyle? Ugh.
After this, I need to pay my reparations.
Tone down your hate speech.
Yeah.
Reparations now, reparations forever.
Reparation forever.
Yeah. The brony thing, that's pretty weird, I gotta say.
Yeah.
It's like weird dudes, neckbeards living in their mom's basement, fapping the My Little Pony episodes and stuff.
There's now a lesbian My Little Pony they had on the show recently. So, #progress.
About time.
About time.
Yeah. Was there more to this clip that was
That's
good?
about it, but let's finish it up.
Okay.
Usually goes by the pronouns he and his. His family says that Keegan has acceptance and support at their school in their conservative Christian town outside of Austin.
Again, this all goes back to, in my mind, like not treating people badly because of what they want to do. Of course, this is a kid, but like respecting people for whatever they want to do, however they want to live, just not bullying people, just being nice, but then not like being totally 100% like on board with everything they do either. You can be decent to somebody without completely being on board with what they're doing, I think.
Well, let's extend my Renaissance Fair LARP analogy a little bit further if you guys will go along with my thought process here. But like in the context of the Renaissance Fair, you're walking around, you see a guy in a monk's costume or something being in character, what you expect it, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And you probably would have no issue with it or whatever. But if you're like standing in line to pay for your groceries or something and somebody comes up to you in a tunic and
full plate mail.
Yeah, like their regalia and whither goest thou, fair traveler, or something like that. I mean, it's like, get out of my face. I'm trying to buy my Cheerios.
Yeah. No, I get it. I mean,
and that's about the amount of thought that I want to put into the alphabet soup community and all their ways to be special.
Yeah.
It's like on par with LARP people.
Yep.
Wow, that is so bigoted.
Whatever.
Can't believe it.
boy. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy.
Oh, yes. Are you guys keeping up with all the I don't know, I guess the censorship and whatnot that's going on?
Yeah, a little bit.
Removing, well, they didn't remove the Donald subreddit, but they quarantined it.
See, I tried searching for the other day and I couldn't find it.
Doesn't show up in search. You can't get it on the mobile app. You have to go through like a browser to see it. And then you have to click through a couple, like, yes, I know this is going to be triggering to me, but I want to see it anyway.
Reddit, you're my last bastion besides 4chan, and that's a cesspool.
Yeah, 4chan's a little too far down the rabbit hole for me. But Reddit was at least, somewhat decent. But Reddit claimed that there were like a bunch of anti-cop threads going on there with threats and things. And so the moderators apparently weren't doing everything they could to control this. Got quarantined. This is after, was it Carlos Maza basically said a few days prior to this that Reddit should censor these people, this group, and then they went ahead and did so. Not saying there's a connection, but I'm just saying it's interesting. And then the Veritas video, you guys
Google all the Google internal stuff.
Internal memos and documents.
I don't know. Seems pretty sinister to me. I tend to buy into the Tim Pool analysis of all of that stuff.
I do too.
It's and it's not a hard conspiracy to find credence to, if you ask me. I mean, all these tech places are located in a pretty much centralized geographical area. They'd all be running in the same social circles and that sort of thing.
And when you talk to the company employees, the bigwigs, they'll say, well, it was taken down by an algorithm. They'll just basically blame it on the algorithms.
Blame it on the computers.
Yeah, essentially is what they're doing. And those algorithms are tuned by humans.
Yeah.
Just interestingly, do a search on Google. Do a search for Donald Trump's email. And don't actually search, just see what the suggestion is back to you.
Whoop. Let me switch to the display here so everybody can see us. Okay, I think
this was done in the Veritas video, but if people haven't seen that, they can see the results live here.
So what am I looking for, Donald Trump?
Actually, just go to google.com. I think that'll be easier. and then type in there Donald Trump email space, and then see what that is. Okay, so see all those suggestions. Now do the same thing with Hillary Clinton email.
Okay. Whoop.
Freudian slip.
No kidding.
Look at that. Does that not strike you as a little odd, given that there was a little bit of controversy around Hillary Clinton's emails not that long ago?
Huh.
Oh, man.
And the Veritas video went and did Google puts out charts and things of how many searches are done for particular terms over time. And, of course, Hillary Clinton's email spiked around the election. Donald Trump's was fairly flatlined through the entire thing. And
that's nutty, man. Crazy.
Deep state.
Coincidental. It's just...
Yep. I don't know. It makes me uncomfortable. The Tim Pool argument was that the liberal politicians and so forth have sort of like helped to privatize censorship and stuff. And, you know, because the tech companies and the social media and all that's such a big part of everybody's lives anymore.
Yeah.
And you can't just shut people down with First Amendment protections, but they can use it's a private company end around.
That's like, I think we've talked about it before with, cell phones or a cell phone service or even electricity. I'm using electricity to make drugs in my house. I don't pull that out of context, but does that mean that the electric company is responsible for my illegal actions?
Right.
No, and nor should it be. And I think they're trying to argue that.
Right.
The conservatives are trying to argue that for social.
Mm-hmm. Well, and I don't know. I mean, at what juncture would it become more like a utility,
right?
And less like a whatever the alternative is? Not sure. Publisher, private platform or something, whatever. But anyways,
yeah.
Well, what was our other video here? Anderson Cooper.
Pooper. It's a long one, but...
She's not my type. That is what the President of the United States has just said about the woman
who said this. Somebody set this up for us. What was the
latest Trump accuser
accusation
of rape, basically. Okay. She's a nut. Should we investigate her accusations? Of course, as we should with all accusations of this kind, but she just seems completely bonkers, as you'll see.
Who says he sexually assaulted her. She's not my type, which is what one says when a friend tries to fix you up. Not my type. It's not what anyone really says when accused of what amounts to rape.
Pause.
Not my type.
That is an example of editorializing. Now, granted, would you consider Cooper to be like a straight news show, or would you consider it to be opinion and analysis?
I would say opinion and analysis.
Okay, then he can get by with what he just said, but that was clearly a dig.
Yeah, no kidding. But I mean, my answer to your question is tainted by my disdain for CNN in general. So, it would be hard. I'd be hard pressed to say that anything that CNN put out was like objective journalism of any sort.
My point is that these little jabs and digs happen all the time, and they occur in places you wouldn't expect. Even on NPR, you notice this stuff.
Yep. Yeah, I've gotten in a big fight with with Coral different times, telling her her PBS is fake news, and she gets kind of worked up about it.
Is she a sustaining member?
I think so. Well, yeah. I mean, she likes a nightly news report and likes, whatever, Europe with Rick Steves and some of that stuff on there. So they're PBS fans.
Oh,
but it's fake news, man. Subsidized by the government.
PBS.
It is tainted if you listen to it.
No kidding.
It's not hard to
say.
It
isn't everything, though. I mean, everyone has a bias.
Yes, but don't claim you're not.
Yeah.
Does PBS claim they aren't?
I would think so.
I think they try.
Yeah.
Oh.
NPR certainly.
That is precisely what President Trump just said, and not for the first time either. She's not my type. He just said this about his 15th and latest accuser, and we begin tonight with her account of the alleged sexual assault that she says she endured at his hands. And that alone should be compelling enough. At any other time, it would be. Yet today, it's also part of a larger and more troubling story of collective indifference. Somehow, and we'll explore the reasons why, the fact that the president has been accused 14 other times of unwanted sexual advances or outright sexual assault has numbed people to just how abnormal this is, these kind of accusations. When Bill Clinton was accused 2 decades ago, it shook the
You could
country.
probably skip forward to where she's actually on the thing and talking to him.
Yeah.
They basically, she gets so weird and nutty that they have to cut to break.
Yeah.
Time ago.
What do we need Ben for? Is her book.
I want to begin just by asking you about the latest thing that the president has said just short time ago. He gave an interview to The Hill. He said, I'll say it with great respect. Number one, she's not my type. Number two, it never happened. It never happened, okay?
I love that. I am so glad I am not his type. I am so glad. This was 20 years ago. And I probably was, at that moment, in that 5 minutes, the most attractive woman in Bergdorf's in that one bit of time.
And you think that's what it was about for him?
I don't know what it was about. Anderson, we were having a high old time. You remember Donald Trump, hail fellow, well met, walking up and down the streets of New York, greeting everybody. Everybody liked him.
You're talking about 1995,
96. He was Shakespearean. He was great. You'd love to see him on the street. So when we met in Bergdorf's and he said, help me, advise me to find a president, I was delighted. I was thrilled. I thought, this is hilarious.
I'm wondering, the statement that he said, which he's just made, which is, she's not my type, that was the number one thing.
I love that I'm not his type.
He has said that previously. There was a woman, Jessica Leeds, who came forward, and he said, I think we actually have the tape of what he said, and it echoes similar language. Let's just play what he said about Jessica Leeds.
Probably skip forward a bit more.
Okay.
She gets into like, she says something like, most people think rape is sexy.
Oh,
and then
yeah.
Cooper gets something in his ear like, cut the break, cut the break. She's nuts. And eventually.
How far ahead should I go?
Probably, yeah, try that.
He shut the door and pushed me up against the wall and bang my head on the wall and kissed me. It was so shocking. I couldn't, of course I started laughing again because.
You started laughing?
Of course.
Why? Why, of course?
Because it was a way of, if it was at all erotic in his part, it would, if a man is laughed at, it usually will make him, and he put his shoulder against me to hold me against the wall. And at that point, I realized that I was in a very difficult situation.
Did he say anything?
No. No. It was just like, we're going to do this thing. We're just so hot for each other. I don't. Well,
yeah. It's buried somewhere in here. We're going to do this. We're going to do it.
Oh, man.
Who does that?
No.
Trying to think what he was thinking. Anyway, so he pushed me, he pushed me, held me with his shoulder.
So I'm trying to envision this in my mind's eye. So Trump pushes her against the wall, kisses her, she laughs at him, and then he turns and puts his shoulder on her to hold her against the wall.
Who knows?
I guess.
Says we're doing this.
This is in Bergdorf's.
Nothing was said, but it was like, we're going to do this. But I don't get the shoulder move.
I have no idea.
Okay.
And I was wearing a coat dress and tights, and he pulled down the tights. And so that's
he pulled it with both hands, with one hand.
One. And that was when it turned serious. I realized that this was a fight. And even though I can talk about it now and put words to it, at the time the adrenaline is pouring through me, and all I want to do is
How would you describe? What were you? You said.
Is this the first that this lady has come out and
this is
said this?
Her main coming out, I guess.
Yeah.
Of course, I assume it's past the, what do they call it, the statute?
Yeah, I don't know.
There's nothing that could be legally done.
I don't know, right? But Trump would, at the time, 20 years ago, would have been a rich dude.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So I mean, if there was a damages standpoint from a lawsuit or something, she
Yeah.
could have. I mean, that's the kind of person you want to sue in civil court, is somebody with a lot of money, because they can pay your judgment.
I guess my reason for bringing this up is, like, go to TrumpRotation.com.
Okay.
Here's a list of like all the things that you could accuse Trump of. And, man, we got to get you a pop-up blog.
Yeah.
Illegitimate president, incompetent, liar, Hitler, demands loyalty, cheeseburgers is all he eats.
Sex offender, Russian agent, narcissist.
And so it's like
clown or bozo.
Yeah.
Criminal.
All these things that the mainstream media brings up and are put to rest, and nothing's ever said about them. Like, if this lady was definitively proven to be lying, she'd be just tucked away, and then the next thing would come up, and then they'd accuse him of something else. It never ends. That's why it's called the Trump rotation.
Huh. Crazy.
One thing after another.
Right. Wow.
Tweets too much.
Huh.
Nixonian.
Interesting.
Yeah. Anywho.
How we doing on time?
Yeah,
here?
where are we at?
Hour and 10 minutes. Did you guys have anything more you wanted to hit on, or?
I'm good.
Not that I can think of.
Oh, I did want to mention my internship students are getting ready to release something else.
Okay.
So I was promised them I'd mention the URL. It's not, they don't have the download live yet, but they will shortly. tinyurl.com, tinyurl.com/ROS game, capital S. ROS games.
Cool.
Rules of Survival is what it stands for.
Is this Zach's thing?
Kind of, yeah. It's something that they're all kind of.
Very good. You'll get it, whatever it is.
Yeah. It's a kind of a survival construction game in the vein of Ark, or even somewhat like Minecraft with recipes and crafting.
Cool.
Very good.
So check
that
it out.
Sounds neat. Alrighty. Well, I guess if that's it, that's it.
Till we meet again.
Yep.
No collusion. No obstruction.